Good afternoon. My name is Costanza Teravetzi. Tell me a little about yourself. Well, I can describe myself best in 3 words: goal-oriented, reliable, and full of integrity. I would say I'm a very goal-oriented person because I know what I want and I don't let obstacles get in the way of me achieving those goals. I have a clear vision and I'm constantly on a mission to achieve those goals. I think having a clear vision is a really important trait to have, especially in business, because you don't want to lose focus of what your company is about, company's values especially. Like in a recent article I read about Twitter, the CEO is jumping from one idea to the next due to falling stock prices. And when they asked employees what they thought about this, they said they weren't surprised because they never really thought he had a clear vision of where he wanted to take the company to begin with. Even though he was able to bring it up from a startup to a $25 billion company, can this lack of vision and focus help them when they want to be the best social media network out there and compete with Facebook? The next word that really describes me well is reliable. I strive to be someone my family, friends, co-workers, classmates, anyone that comes in contact with me can rely on. I don't think there's a worse feeling than letting someone down who was counting on you, or being let down by someone you were counting on, no matter the circumstances. If someone is depending on me, I know that I have to do it because it is my responsibility. I gave them my word and I have to follow through no matter what. And then a word that really describes me best, I think, is full of integrity. I strive my hardest to be the most honest, hardworking person because at the end of the day, your honesty, your ethics, and your values are all you have. And in my opinion, those are what define you more than your work ever can. Like this one night, I was at work, it was near closing, and one of my coworkers told me that he overheard the managers talking about how the cameras weren't working, and when it was time to close and count the money, he was going to take some. I didn't think this was a good idea. He tried to persuade me to also go along with him, but I didn't listen. As the night wore on, I was actually able to persuade him not to take the money, and we didn't. The next day, we come to find out that our managers were actually lying to us. The cameras were working perfectly fine. They just wanted to see who would steal given the opportunity and who wouldn't. 2 employees ended up getting fired, but not my coworker and I. Tell me about a significant accomplishment in your life. I would say a significant accomplishment in my life would have to be my entire senior year of high school. Dealing with schoolwork is stressful enough, but add on AP classes, the college application process, running a club, a part-time job, and just making time to be a normal high school senior and during her last year before college can get hectic. First was my 5 AP classes, which alone are no small feat, but they really taught me about myself. They tested me, but then they made me realize that if I put in the right time and effort, I can really achieve anything I want as long as I have my mind set to it. Next was the college application process, which was stressful to say the least. Having numbers to find all the hard work you've put in for the last 17 years, obviously, but the last 3 years of high school is crazy. It really takes a toll on you, especially emotionally. It takes a special emotionally stable person to overcome that. Next was being executive editor of the yearbook, which at first was the hardest job because which at first was the hardest. There were 20 staff members, 2 executives, and a teacher sponsor. At first we had to find the staff members that would be reliable, hardworking, and put in the right amount of work needed to make this book a success. Once we found the staff members, we had to find out their strengths, weaknesses, and how we should divide them. That sounds hard, but it was actually not that bad. The hardest part was not being able to micromanage our staff members. We had to empower them to do their work, show their own creativity, and not be afraid to blossom. Yeah, they were going to make mistakes, but as long as the end result was good, which it always was, then it shouldn't be a problem. Next was my part-time job, which really made me value my time. It made me learn that I had no more time to procrastinate and spend countless hours on Netflix watching movies. I really had to value my time properly. The second I got home from school till the second I got to work, I was doing homework. The second I got home from work till I slept, I was doing college stuff. And I even brought my books to work sometimes and read during breaks. It got pretty hectic. But I say the hardest part is just making time for life and just being a normal high school senior. Yeah, it would have been easy to say, oh, I'm tired, oh, I have a paper, oh, I have an early shift the next morning, but that wouldn't have been fun. That wouldn't have been fun. My senior year of high school was not easy, but I learned a lot about myself and it made me a stronger and tougher person. I learned that with time, effort, and the right mindset, I can truly achieve anything. And no matter how hard it is at the time, because at the time it seemed like the hardest thing I ever had to do, once you accomplish it, you feel so proud of yourself and you realize that you can really do anything. Tell me something you learned in this class. Well, this class taught me most was to be more open-minded about people, in this case professors, because there's always a method to their madness. When the class first started, I thought all the work we had to do was so unnecessary. It was work that a junior or senior should be doing, not a first and second semester freshman just starting off. But as the class went on, I began to appreciate some of the assignments and even the way you taught and how the class was structured. One assignment that really comes to mind is the corporate analysis. I hated it while doing it, and I thought there was no reason that 4 weeks into business school we should be doing an assignment that ended up being, for me, 14 pages long on a company I'm probably not even going to work for, and questions that I wouldn't have to know until years down the road. And although that's true, some of those questions I won't need to know until years down the road, it doesn't hurt to start thinking about them now. Just like I was reading the journal the other day, and I saw a story about Snapchat and how they want to advertise, and it got me thinking back to all those questions. Who are Snapchat's demographics? Oh, people like me, ages 17 to 25. Would they want advertisements? Probably not. And then it led me to what's a major issue that Snapchat has right now. Well, do they advertise and risk losing some customers? Do they not advertise but have no money? It made me start to think, what would I do if I was CEO? If I was their CEO, I think I would probably start advertising strategically. I don't know what strategically is yet, but I would do the advertising. But these are questions I never even would have thought I would think of at this age. And now I'm like analyzing Wall Street Journal articles, which I didn't even read before this class. Honestly, the thing that this class really taught me is that the workload is hard, but that's exactly what the business world is going to be like. And if I don't like it, then I'm in the wrong field. It will get stressful at times, but if I just manage my time properly and do work, then it shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, I learned a lot in this class about business vocabulary, the content, and everything, but you can learn that in any other business course. What this class really taught me is time management, open-mindedness, and what the real business world is like. And I don't think you can learn that in another course, and I'm truly thankful for this class because of